Okay, the first progression that we're going to look at would be the 5-10-5, the Pro Agility test. And the first progression that you want to do with that first progression I would prescribe is just basically a 5-yard cone sprint, where we have a cone here, we have a cone here, athlete stands at this cone, and on the command or the whistle or whatever that may be, the athlete just turns, sprints to the cone, plants, and then turns slightly in the other direction. So what that does is develops the sprinting ability to go on the command, and then as they're getting to that spot, they have to plant and turn, and ideally you want them to really focus on turning and getting and going in the opposite direction in a straight line. Alright, so once they're able to do that, you progress onto doing that, onto the next. Athletes should be able to do that at this point if you're using the 5-10-5 exercise drill. So again, shorten deceleration time with this, and then we're going to move on from the 5-yard to essentially doing the 10-yard, where we're here, and they're starting at the 10, and then it's a full sprint here, planting and turning, and then coming back in this direction. So that gets them ready for that next part of the test. We have more acceleration, we have more time for them to build up for their full speed here, so we really want them to focus on decelerating in the fewest amount of steps possible, and when they can do that and hit that line and turn back in the other direction, that's when you want to move on to the next progression, which at that point you can start to do the full test, alright, where you have the 5-10-5 cones, alright, and the athlete, as soon as you give them the command, they're going, planting and turning, planting and going in the other direction, and then coming back this way. The goal is by the time that you're doing this test, they're able to do it in a minimal amount of time. So they're saying go, they're getting here, decelerating fewest amount of steps, planting, turning, and going in a straight line, again decelerating in the fewest amount of steps, and then coming back to their original starting point. You can go above that, right above the regular 5-10-5 Pro Agility, and what that would be is having the athletes go on command. So you'd say go when they get to here, go about right when the time they're at the cone, and then go when they get to their final cone. And that also helps develop agility, because then you're going to the perceptive cognitive type aspect of it, where they're not looking at the stimulus, they're reacting to the stimulus, and that's a better way for athletes to develop that agility, where you're not just going through the basic change of direction modalities. So that would be the full progression that I would use for the 5-10-5. And once they get to these last few, we're just looking for ways for them to possibly speed up their times as much as possible, shortest amount of steps to decelerate, shortest or straightest line to get to the next point where they need to turn.